We don't let people get away with murder in our town.
And right now, police need your help finding the shooter responsible for killing a 6-year-old girl in the district overnight. What we're learning right now from a news conference that just wrapped up minutes ago. Plus, we're on weather alert with the balmy conditions turning to storms across the area tonight. How long we'll be dealing with the showers. And the Washington Wizards naming their new head coach. We'll tell you about the new hire's unique connection to the DMV. 7 News at 6 starts right now.
7 News on your side at 6 starts now. We begin with a breaking news alert.
Pleading for your help tonight to figure out who shot and killed a 6-year-old girl in D.C. last night. Surveillance video capturing the scene as gunfire rang out, sending people running for their lives. 7 News on your side's Justin Hinton joining us live right now after hearing from the chief and the mayor who are saying enough is enough. And Justin, what are we learning right now?
Yeah, Carl. Well, first and foremost, I should begin by saying that they just wrapped up a meeting. Really, it felt more like a town hall. In addition to members of the media being here, there are also a number of community members here. They, along with the police chief and the mayor, expressing outrage and frustration that something like this would happen, that somebody would shoot and kill a 6-year-old girl. That 6-year-old little girl right here, Naya Courtney. And what we've learned, that there's a $6,000 reward in this case, some of that money being put up by the ATF. We also know that that organization is offering its resources, as is the FBI, trying to figure out who is responsible for killing her and injuring 5 other individuals. Now, we should mention that there was some surveillance video that we were able to track down. We talked to the owner who took that surveillance video. He says that the little girl on that scooter is Naya Courtney, and she was riding that scooter in that area where the shooting took place just minutes before that shooting took place. And we know that she was struck and she did not survive. That was at the intersection of MLK and Malcolm X in Southeast Washington. So a lot of folks came together, including the mayor, including the police chief, representatives from the FBI and the ATF, to say enough is enough. A lot of folks in this community have been saying that, you know, folks who perpetuate this violence, they need more things to do, right? That there needs to be more rec centers for them to be involved, that there needs to be more jobs. So I asked the mayor about that, and she had a very fiery response.
Do all of that, but I'm not convinced that that person would have been in a rec center. Now, I am convinced that some of our other programs who are working with people who are known killers can get them in and offer them a different opportunity.
And that's really what they want, this community to come together to identify some of those people. And we do have another photo, because what police are saying is that this is that suspect vehicle. It is a silver or gray sedan. So they're asking anyone if they have any information about this vehicle or what took place Friday night to give police a call. We are live in Southeast Washington. Justin Hinton, 7 News.
Hopefully police get the tip that they need, Justin. Thank you very much. And also new at 6, MPD is also looking for the suspect who assaulted a police officer. Take a look. This happened in the 1100 block of New Jersey Avenue in Southeast last Sunday night. The suspect hitting the officer before leaving that scene. The officer is expected to be okay. And tonight there's a $1,000 reward for information leading to an arrest. Reach out to MPD if you can help. And right now, the Stormwatch 7 team is on weather alert with storms and showers approaching the area. Already tonight, strong wind taking down this tree in Rockville. It came down on a car, but thankfully no one was hurt. Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Brian Vandergraaf joining us right now with the latest. And Brian, you're seeing even more activity on the radar tonight.
Oh, yeah, off to the west, Carl. We've had quite a few showers and thunderstorms. Not everyone in on the action, but those that have seen it, they've been pretty intense. In fact, across portions of our north and east and in Baltimore, they're still reeling from some of the hefty rains they saw earlier. Let's take a look around the maps and the radar. And I do want to say right now out of Baltimore, this system finally pulling out, but not before leaving several inches of rain. Flash flood warnings in effect for portions of Baltimore City and Baltimore County. Now off to the west, a new severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Carroll, Frederick, and Washington counties. This cell here moving across Boonesboro to the northeast at about 40 miles per hour. Quite a bit of lightning and thunder up through Hagerstown. Another little warning had been in play for some of our western counties, including portions of Berkeley, Winchester, as well as Clark counties. A few little showers and storms down to our south and east. So clusters all around us. We continue to watch them as they progress eastward. We are all under a severe thunderstorm watch through 11 o'clock tonight. Look at these. Some have already brought down 1 to 1.5 inches of rain, so that's why flooding also remains a concern. More on some changes in the pattern coming up in just a bit.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. And remember, you can always stay connected with the Stormwatch 7 team while you're on the go. Just download the free Stormwatch 7 app right now to get alerts sent right to your phone. And yeah, that was the scene earlier today outside of the White House. Protesters calling for freedom in Cuba. Take a look. 7 News was there as dozens of people showed off their signs and Cuban flags. Protesters are calling attention to a number of issues, including asking the Biden administration to step up and address the recent rise in police brutality in Cuba. 7 News on your side with the latest now on the pandemic. Authorities are urging everyone to continue to take the virus very seriously as the Delta variant spreads quickly, especially in communities with low vaccination rates. The number of new COVID cases up nearly 70% from last week. Some areas reimposing mask mandates indoors, even for those who are already vaccinated. ABC's Zareen Shah has the latest.
An alarming rise in COVID cases as vaccination rates plunge has health officials across the country worried. The CDC reporting 32% of Americans still have not received a single dose. Hospitalizations up in 39 states, and the U.S. daily case average up nearly 70% in the last week. Cases up in nearly every state, the worst hit states including Arkansas, Florida, Louisiana, Missouri, and Nevada. In Florida alone, the number of new COVID cases has nearly doubled in just 7 days to more than 45,000. Health officials in Missouri sounding the alarm as the number of sick patients there also climbs.
At some point, you're going to look at this and you're going to say, you know, we're in trouble. And we don't like to raise a false alarm bell, but the reality is the numbers are rising exponentially.
In North Carolina, cases among children 14 and under up about 32% from last week. The CDC suggesting that kids 12 and under could get the shot by midwinter. With the Delta variant rapidly spreading, particularly hit hard are communities with low vaccination rates. Medical experts urging all eligible Americans to get the vaccine. The Surgeon General expressing concern that misinformation might be fueling vaccine hesitancy, telling the Washington Post,
"It is your right to have accurate information that you can base your decisions on. And right now, it is very hard for people to figure out what's true and what's not."
In California, at least 10 counties are now recommending mask mandates for all people. Here in Los Angeles, a mask mandate going into effect tonight, whether you're vaccinated or not. Some small business owners hoping the restrictions don't get worse.
We're at that first level now. What I'm hoping is it just kind of stays there and then it goes back to no mask.
Zoreen Shah, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And it looks like COVID is now impacting the Texas House Democrats that are staying in D.C. as they protest their state's GOP-backed voting rights bill. 3 members testing positive for the virus, and all of them are already fully vaccinated. Texas House Democratic leaders say they are now speaking with public health officials about what to do next. And new tonight, just moments ago, the Washington Wizards officially naming their new head coach. 7 News Sports' Olivia Garvey joining us right now with more on that big announcement, Olivia, and some community ties as well.
No, it's a great announcement today. We've been waiting for this report, and finally it has come out, Carl. A very exciting night of basketball just got a whole lot better, especially here in D.C. Now, the Washington Wizards announcing today they have hired Wes Unseld Jr. Now, Unseld Jr., the son of Bullets legend Wes Unseld, how could we forget him, is making his way from Denver to becoming a head coach for the first time in his career. He becomes the 25th head coach in the organization's history. And from what I've heard, this is a well-liked hire by many people here in the DMV. And later in sports, we'll hear from a certain color analyst for the Wizards who's excited to see Unseld Jr. shine as the new head coach, the Washington Wizards.
I like the hire. Denver had winning ways, and he's coming from that system.
He's bringing the wins right to Washington.
All right, bring them on. Olivia, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you in just a few minutes.
Right.
Also coming up for us at 6, the National Park Service remembering the first major battle of the Civil War. We'll show you some of the newly restored artifacts making noise 160 years later. Well, that will certainly get your attention. Those are 2 fully restored cannons sounding off as the National Park Service marks 160 years since the first Battle of Manassas. These cannons are known as boat howitzers, and the U.S. Navy loaned guns like these to the 71st New York State Militia, who put them to good use on Matthews Hill during the fight.
The 71st New York State Militia, they went on those raids, and they were accompanied by naval forces, naval boat launches, and with guns like these, and they performed very well.
Well, First Manassas, also known as the First Battle of Bull Run, was the first major battle of the Civil War. The National Park Service has more events commemorating the occasion scheduled for tomorrow and on the actual anniversary, which is on Wednesday. Now, she's been called the unofficial mom of D.C. police, and now the department is remembering Shirley Gibson, who passed away last night. Gibson was known for cooking Christmas dinners for officers after her son, Brian, who was also an MPD officer, was killed in the line of duty in 1997. Now, this is video from her 20th and final dinner that happened back in 2016. D.C. police saying in a tweet tonight that she was a mother to the entire department, welcoming officers into her home every year, and she will be deeply missed. Well, still to come, massive flooding across parts of Europe. What's being done right now to try to find the hundreds of people still missing there tonight?
And we're tracking our next round of showers and storms. In fact, the new severe thunderstorm warning for portions off to the west coming across 81. We'll time that out and talk about what's in store for the rest of the evening as 7 News on your side at 6 continues after this.
7 News on your side right now with the latest from overseas, where the death toll is rising across parts of Germany, the Netherlands, and Belgium after days of unrelenting rain and catastrophic flooding, as you see right here behind me. Tonight, hundreds there are still reported missing, and the massive cleanup operation is now underway. ABC's Lama Hassan has the latest.
Across parts of Western Europe, devastating scenes of the worst flooding the region has seen in a century are everywhere. Days of heavy rain turn normally minor rivers and streets into raging torrents, causing disastrous floods that engulfed entire communities in minutes, forcing many from their homes. The death toll there continues to rise.
There's so many people dead,
with hundreds still unaccounted for. Germany especially hard hit.
You don't expect people to die in a flood in Germany, but it was all too fast, too quick.
This retirement home evacuated after water began to fill the basement.
Wir müssen raus.
One resident telling ABC's Maggie Rulli that no one expected it. Rescue workers now dealing with the damage left behind the receding water. Soldiers in Germany salvaging cars from the flooded roads. Cleanup operations underway everywhere as thoughts turn to the lengthy job of rebuilding. Many structures, their foundations, walls and roofs are now extremely vulnerable and many likely uninhabitable. In Belgium, the Brasseur family is grateful to have survived. Dad Paul describes how they barely escaped as water levels rose and buildings collapsed around them. Today is his 42nd birthday. His gift, he says,
Ma famille et tous les amis avec qui on était sont toujours en vie.
Is that his family and his friends are still alive. Lama Hassan, ABC News, London.
All right, now let's check back in with Stormwatch 7 meteorologist Brian Vandegraff. And Brian, we were tracking storms a little bit earlier. He's saying another system right behind it, right?
Another round, yeah. We had several clusters earlier today. Plenty of warnings that were up and down across the area. Maybe you didn't see some at your house. You may get a chance on this second round, Carl. The earlier round did focus kind of sporadically around the area, but we did have some trees down in Rockville up towards Baltimore and also as well out through western Maryland. As we look at the latest, I want to point out a couple warnings that are currently new into the Stormwatch 7 Weather Center. The first being for this area up here, portions of Frederick, Washington, and Carroll County severe thunderstorm warning till 6:30. You can see this little cluster here working its way up towards Thurmont along 15 up along the Mason-Dixon line. That cell moving to the northeast at about 35 miles per hour. These have been some really fast movers. Meanwhile, this severe thunderstorm warning, which goes down through a good chunk of our western viewing area, runs parallel from Interstate 81, including Winchester, Berryville, eastward. This is until 6:45, including the counties of Clark, Frederick, Jefferson, and Warren. Put this into motion, and you can see as this cell is moving to the east at about 40 miles per hour towards Middleway at about 6:21, towards Berryville 6:23, Bluemont at 6:40, and we'll be watching that carefully from our Bluemont cam because we can check that out from there. Meanwhile, down to the south of Manassas, some showers. They did have some strong storms in this vicinity earlier, so right now just some showers from Montclair towards the 95 corridor. Also a couple little heftier cells from Prince Frederick lifting across towards the bay. Overall, the pattern is going to continue to see this energy moving from west to east as that frontal system works its way through. We are all technically under a severe thunderstorm watch, meaning warnings could happen at any time through the next couple of hours. That runs until 11 o'clock this evening. In addition, we have a flash flood watch up for portions of the metro area for tonight. Here's that Bluemont cam I was mentioning earlier. So watch and see if that storm approaches off from the west. 89 in the district, 84 Chantilly, Gaithersburg 76, Martinsburg 74, Spotsylvania at 81. And highs today did get into the 90s, so we threw another 90-degree day in the mix. But now, as we continue to go into the evening, we're watching as those temperatures start to slide back with the addition of those cooler air moving in from the north and west. The dew point's still at 68, so it's still very soupy air. But by tomorrow, we're going to see some improving conditions, so that is some good news. But for tonight, a few more shower and storm chances potential. Temperatures will drop back through the 70s tonight. Sundown at 8:31 this evening. Futurecast shows some showers and storms through about 9, 10 o'clock. By 11 o'clock, starts to kick off to the east. Tomorrow, we'll go with a mix of sun and clouds, mid-80s, less humidity around. Tomorrow feeling pretty nice. Quick look at that 7-day forecast shows we do heat back up Monday, Tuesday, but behind tonight, our best chance of storms not till next Wednesday. Temperatures will be hot, but nothing as oppressive as last week. Back to you.
All right, Brian, thank you very much. Now let's get a look at the latest highlights and headlines in DC sports with Olivia Garvey. And Olivia, the Wizards hiring a new head coach, hopefully getting deeper in the playoffs next year as well.
Yeah, we have some big headlines tonight, like you just said. It's a great night for basketball here in the DMV. Like we spoke about earlier, the Washington Wizards naming Wes Unseld Jr. as their new head coach. We'll hear from a very certain Wizards color analyst, Glenn Conser, on the big hire next. Stay with us.
And now, the Toyota Sports Desk, sponsored by your Toyota dealers.
Well, breaking news tonight. The wait is over. The Washington Wizards have officially hired Wes Unseld Jr. as their new head coach. We know Wes pretty well around here. He is the son of the great Wes Unseld, who played for the Washington Bullets. He's a legend, and I'm pretty sure Jr. will be too. Unseld Jr. comes to Washington after spending 6 seasons with the Denver Nuggets. He knows the game of basketball pretty well, and he's done it all in this league. He's been a scout to now a head coach. I caught up with Wizards color analyst Glenn Consor about the hire and what he thinks Unseld Jr. will bring to this franchise.
He's done everything for an NBA team. Scout, player development, advanced scout, which observes other opposing teams' strategies and plays. He's been an assistant coach. He's been an associate assistant coach. So he's done every single thing that an NBA team. I think for him, that adjustment's going to be relatively easy, but, it's going to be different. So, he knows that.
You guys know the song Started from the Bottom, Now We're Here? That goes for him. Let's take a look at Wes Unseld Jr. He broke in with the Wizards franchise right out of college as a scout and worked his way up to assistant coach under Eddie Jordan, Flip Saunders, and Randy Whitman. After leaving D.C., he had assistant coaching jobs in Golden State and Orlando. It was Denver recently where he bolstered that Nuggets defense from near the bottom to the top 6 in the league for the last 3 seasons. Yeah, I think he's going to do pretty well here. And on 7 News, we have been airing the NBA Finals between the Bucks and Suns. It's been a finals the NBA dreams of. It's been awesome. We're hoping Game 5 is a repeat of that amazing Game 4 we saw. And let's get into the history of these teams in the finals. Now, the Bucks' only title was in 1971. Bob Dandridge was on that Milwaukee team alongside Lou Alcindor and Oscar Robertson. Those are some big names there. Bobby D was also on the Bullets, his nickname, the championship squad in 1978 with Wes Unseld and Elvin Hayes. Dandridge sees some ties between that Bullets series against the Sonics and this finals between a young Bucks team and the Suns.
Seattle basically being a young team, Washington Bullets, we being veterans, so and that's the way I see it with the Suns and the Bucks now. The Suns are a young team which have been built, basically around the draft, but having some good young players. The Bucks being more of a seasoned and I would say veteran team. So I see those similarities in the two.
A true legend there. Don't forget, you can watch the pivotal Game 5 of the NBA Finals right here tonight on 7 News. See which team can take a 3-2 lead. Tip-off is set for 9 o'clock. And finally, the Nationals are taking on the Padres again tonight. Patrick Corbin with the first pitch at 7:05. We're really hoping for less runs from the Padres tonight. We'll be right back.
All right, I want to show you one more time. Right now we have one active warning. It's a cluster of storms that is running parallel to 81 right now, moving off to the east-northeast. Portions of Berkeley, West Virginia, City Winchester out in Frederick County, Virginia, Clark, and Jefferson County in West Virginia. That cell moving off to the east at about 35 to 45 miles per hour. It's pretty intense. We'll watch for more to propagate across the area, and we'll keep you on top of it.
All right, good time to have that app. Brian, thank you very much, and thank you for joining us as well. You can get the latest forecast updates around the clock at WJLA.com/weather, or as I just mentioned, on the free Stormwatch 7 weather app. We'll see you back here tonight after Game 5. Have a good afternoon.